Half kneel ankle mobility. A lot of the times when we see squat issues, ankle mobility can come into play, not being able to go through good levels of dorsiflexion. So we want to make sure Steve has good dorsiflexion in his leg. We're going to use the kettlebell as a visual tool. So we want to make sure that knee's not collapsing into valgus as he's going to go through this ankle mobility drill. And basically if his knee starts to cave in as we do this, as he's looking down, he's not able to see this kettlebell handle anymore. We always want to make sure that he has a visual of that handle. So this, especially if you're coaching this in groups, just by simply putting a kettlebell on the floor is kind of being a coach. So if they start to cheat and go into a bad position, then the kettlebell is kind of giving them feedback. So what I'm talking about is he's able to see, as you can see, that's drifting out towards his pinky toe. But let's see one to where he's going to start to cave. Now, Steve, can you see that kettlebell handle? No. So he's not able to see it. You see basically the hip might shoot out, the knee caves in, and basically the ankle joint is saying, I'm at my end range of motion, but in order for me to go further, I'm going to start to compensate. So we want to use this kettlebell as a visual tool to make sure that he stops at his true joint end range of motion, and then he just starts to progress from there. So this is a great way to start cleaning up any ankle mobility drills so we can start to squat and lunge better. The kettlebell bootstrap squat. We want to make sure we line the kettlebell up basically between the heels, and we're going to get down into a good bootstrap position. So what I want you to do is squat. He's going to drop his hips. From this position, we're going to look at the T-spine. I want him to drive nice and long. Chin stays tucked, neutral spine. Now we're going to go into a bottoms up, so he's going to take that into a bottoms up position, into a goblet, driving the knees out with the elbows. Good. Now bring it back down. Let's go into basically a hamstring stretch. Raising the hips, taking a good breath in. Now exhale, breathe out, drop back down into that, lengthen through the T-spine, nice and long. Take it back up to the goblet. Good. Take it back down to the floor. Another breath in. Rise through the hips, and you just want to make sure you're tying the breath in. So he's giving a good hard exhale, breathing out, lengthening through the T-spine. If you see rounding through here, we want to stop at that joint end range of motion and make sure the spine stays in a good neutral position the entire time. You can take this through desired length of time or repetitions, or until you start to see improvement, and this is going to help improve the deep squat pattern and help give you better squats. And this is our kettlebell bootstrap squat. Start with the kettlebell, even with the heels. You're going to give a proper deadlift, take it up into a goblet position, holding the bell by the horns. We want to make sure the bell's out roughly 6, 12, 18 inches just to preset the core. From here, the elbows are going to stay in. What I want Steve to do is go down into a good deep squat position. Nice neutral spine, elbows are inside the knees. Whenever he's at this position, another way we can start to improve mobility is by adding the rock. From here, I want you to shift from side to side. You can give a little forward, back, but basically we're working the ankles, and as he continues to rock, he's working a breath. He's just sitting at that bottom position, working a little bit of ankle mobility, being able to stay nice and tall through this. And then go ahead, stand. And as you do this, we also like to, you get down deep to the floor. I don't necessarily want to stand with the weight that deep. So from here, let's just go ahead, set the kettlebell down to the floor, and then you'll be able to stand up. So this, we usually do in one repetition. So we'll take it down to the bottom position. We'll give it some rocks. We'll see the hips start to sink deeper, deeper, deeper into that position while maintaining good neutral spine. Unload the kettlebell. Stand up, and it's a great way to help open up the hips to help improve squat depth. Goblet squat with drop. This is another goblet squat variation that's going to help improve squatting. So we start with the kettlebell up here. Let's go ahead, grab the kettlebell with good form, take it up to the goblet position where we're holding it by the horns, 6, 12, 18 inches out in front, wherever's comfortable, but getting some core pre-engagement. Core pre-engagement is kind of key on this. So we're going to actually go through get into the bottom position of this squat using the kettlebell to kind of help offset some of this weight. But now I want to teach Steve to stand up without that assistance from the kettlebell to offset. So he's actually going to leave it. He's going to stay nice and tall. He can keep the arms there, or we can start to challenge by doing different things with the arms. Let's go ahead, grab the kettlebell. Now I'm going to have you take it down to a good squat position, driving the knees out. We want to make sure those knees don't cave in. He's going to leave it at the bottom. And now from here, let's go ahead and actually raise the arms up. And we want to see if he's able to maintain good vertical position and drive out of the hole here, or if he's going to get that forward rock. Does he need that kettlebell to offset to do this properly, or is he able to actually maintain a vertical position as he's able to do this? So let's get one more. I really like to get the arms overhead because it's really going to help exploit the issue that we're trying to clear up. So this teaches go down in good position, drive through the heels, maintain good height as he gets this. Awesome way to start to improve squat. And that's our goblet squat with leave.